That's my breathe. That is my breathe. My breathing alarm.
I should have went up earlier
Inhale.
in traffic.
Yo, welcome to Beers and Bars.
Your place for rapid fire hip hop discussion and of course great beer.
I am Kamal Kiddo.
OT the Golden Child. Thank y'all for checking out our last episode. Before you do anything else, if you are not subscribed to the podcast, whether it be YouTube or the podcast app, Spotify, Apple, all that kind of stuff, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, all that kind of stuff. Back in a familiar place with a familiar face. Third show at Rev.
Is this our third show? Only our third?
We
had a couple pandemic ones in there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In the space.
In the space. Okay.
Yeah, man.
In the space. We're here at Revolution Brewing. What's the official address?
Tap Room and Brewery, 3340 North Kedzie.
There you go.
We're here with John Carruthers. I forget your title here, John.
He's Director of Communications. Different since the last show.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm on the up.
No.
Yeah.
Man, we've been cool with John forever now, probably about 6-7 years. We text chat every once in a while. And I think for like a year and a half, we've been like, we got to get back in Rev. You know?
He let us know that the new Deep Wood series has just dropped. This is seasonal, right?
Yeah, really.
It's kind of throughout. Like now we have one in the summer too, but it's special occasion beer. We'll call it that.
Okay. And so we're gonna check those out today, along with talking about some other things that Rev has going on, John has going on. So let's get into it. What are we drinking, fellas?
Yeah.
Let's start with the lightest one, 14.8%.
Okay. I'll let you do your thing.
D.B.V.S.O.J, barrel-aged Imperial Oatmeal Stout. This, wildly enough, is barrel-aged between 1 and 2 years, blended, great stuff. Find it anywhere. This is actually the same price it was when I started working here.
Okay.
How many things do you know that are the same price now as before
That is a great
the
point.
whole 2020?
Nothing at all.
But it's also a good beer. That's the most important
Okay.
point. I'm just a generally cheap person.
So we've definitely had this before, right? I mean,
Yeah, this is annual. I mean, this is like one of the main heavy hitters of the whole Deepwood lineup. So stuff goes in and out, but there's always a D-star, like every year.
what's the ABV on this one again?
14.8.
14.8. I don't know. You did like you were drinking wine.
That is, savor it. Savor the
man.
aromas.
I always like that thick, syrupy waft of a smell, man.
Yeah.
That's the oats in there go a long way.
Okay.
It's like a lot of these beers you'll have are like Imperial Stout, a little thinner. Plus, when you add more alcohol, when you have more alcohol in something, it's always going to be thinner. It's thin on the palate, alcohol is.
Gotcha.
But you add oats in there, it's texture, body, volume. Nice flavor too if you're into like oatmeal.
For sure.
I usually, so whenever you guys do a release and I get beer, I try to save as many of these as I can for like the winter time, which obviously, this is that time. The three that we have here, this was the most recent release, right?
So this was released before that. This
Okay.
was October release.
Ooh.
But it is now, you're watching out, this is out in distribution all across the Great Midwest.
Oh wow.
And this particular one, how long did this one sit in the barrels for?
So we blend kind of different components, like some are dry, some are sweet, and they'll spend different time in different barrels, but it's at least a year, up to 2 years on some of these barrels.
Okay. That's what's up.
Wow.
And occasionally like an old one sneaks in, and sometimes you have like kind of just a wild year with that.
Okay. Oh, you're gonna go off for all of it?
Why not?
Got a lot of beer to drink.
I got some other beer to drink here.
Exactly, that's so true. That's definitely true.
That's the endorsement right there. Empty glass.
These are always strong. That's why I always associated with the cold and the cold seasons.
Yeah.
Because they're heavy. It's 14% ABV, right?
It is. It's 14.8. Honestly, and if you're the kind of person who just to pull a random example, like works for a brewery and takes this stuff home for free occasionally.
Yeah.
Goes good in a stew, like a little touch, or a chili, like just a little extra secret ingredient. You can make a real good like bread with stout.
Okay.
But spend, for a 4-pack, you probably want to drink it. But
Okay.
if you're ever looking for something to do with like a little extra barrel-aged stout, has multiple culinary applications.
Okay. Okay.
So let me ask, every time you all drop a Deepwood series, how many beers are in that assortment?
It's usually between 2 and 3, and like some of them stay here at the brewery, and some of them go out onto shelves at like liquor stores, beer stores, and all that. Usually have at least one that goes pretty wide, and then 1 or 2 that are kind of brewery only. Get people to come here in the pub and have a pour and enjoy. We also have usually like 4 draft variants on, so like single barrels of something or something with different fruits or barrels or different adjuncts or blends, and those are only on draft. You gotta come in and try them here. Only for as long as they last. A lot of them are like true one-offs where like we have 1 barrel of something and it's tasting great, and when we're done, it's done.
Okay.
And so do you all, like I've seen Death's Tar before. I've seen, which one is this one?
Life Jacket, it's a new one.
I don't know if I've seen Life Jacket.
See the first year for it.
Got you.
Tropical barley wine for the summertime.
So do you add a new one every series?
Yeah, there's usually something new. Just because you want to try new techniques, you want to try new ingredients, you want to just give people something they haven't had before.
Yeah.
There's always Straight Jacket. There's always Deep Star. There's always Rye to Heaven. Some things come by every couple of years, like B.E.V.S.O.J or something. But then there's like stuff like Dark Mode we did last year was a milk stout. And we don't put lactose in a whole lot, so that was a pretty one-off thing. And then V.S.O. Dark Mode, and then we won't make those again for a while. But yeah, it's nice to have things in and out. Sometimes things are made once and not again, and sometimes we bring them back just because people want to keep drinking it.
Yeah.
Got you.
Want to do the second one? Well, John still has it.
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm not much of a drinker.
No, you're good. You're good. But this is I always remember this one as being one of my favorites. It's like I say, it's one that I try to keep. And I don't know, man. I mean, they're all good.
Yeah.
I think I always try to remember a couple because for the past couple of years we've been doing like our favorite beers at the end of each year. And I don't know if this made it last year, but I know one of these made it. I forget it. Not
I'm
one of
partial.
these, one of the
Yeah, I'm partial to the barley wines actually.
Well, we got 2 barley wines.
Okay.
Should we get into? So this is the silly one. This is the one from July. It's barley wine with mango, guava, passion fruit, coconut. I think pie.
Okay.
Life Jacket.
That's the one.
This is jean jacket weather. This is jean shorts weather. There are 2 continuums in beer.
There you go. And what is the ABV on this one? Oh, I like the color already. You can tell
It's got that good barley wine kind of
absolutely
golden hue. So we put them on the bottom on a lot of these. This is 15.04.
People, please drink responsibly.
Slightly more than this. We're
So
stepping
it's
up.
more than Death's Tar.
It is.
Are we going up each time?
Yeah. The Belgians taught me that when I went on a tour over there.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think they all just go to bed super tired.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can see like barley wine as opposed to stout got that nice kind of ruby golden color to it. And this has got a little different than the barley wine color just because of that tropical fruit in there.
Obviously a lot more sweet up front, right? You get those. What's in it again? Let me see.
Oh,
so mango, guava, yep. Passion fruit, coconut,
definitely. It's sweeter.
Yeah.
It's fruitier.
Yeah.
But
we have like some reggae music in the background. So it's like perfect we got a perfect pairing right now that's happening right now.
I don't want to date us, but it is the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. We're all pretty chill around here today.
yeah.
Oh, this is a banger, man.
But this is kind of a cool thing where it's like this beer, it's tropical, right?
Yeah.
It's fruity. The actual sugar content in this beer isn't that nuts. Like a lot of what we're perceiving as sweet is aroma and it's flavor, but it's not necessarily straight up sugar.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, this is a 14% beer. There's plenty of sugar in it, but it's not like a sugar bomb. It's not something that you're gonna get you're gonna get like overly saturated with. Like you can go through a can of this and not feel like you're just crunching the last few bites between your teeth.
Yeah, this is the one I wanted to try. I'm partial to the fruitier drink,
Yeah.
but
Sorry, I forgot your umbrella.
Seriously, man. This is like.
so what's the process when you have ingredients like
Good call, yeah.
mango, guava, passion fruit, coconut
From a barrel age standpoint, yeah.
from a barrel aged, right?
I mean, you got to find out what makes sense. We knew we wanted to go tropical, but we didn't say we want this concentration of fruits. We kind of took a look at different fruits and like different fruit products, right? Like you're not peeling mangoes and tossing them into the fermenter. It's more, like you're using purees or something like that. And you want to make sure you get something that's like not all sugar, not all fiber, and see how it stands up to like the base beer itself. Like this is a pretty dry straight jacket that we start with because that fruit's coming in. How it stands up to the barrel and expresses itself both outside, but doesn't like paper over the barrel. It's like we rent this beer, like beautiful little 55-gallon studio apartments for a year plus. We don't want to just completely erase that. And from there, it was like you kind of dial in and out different concentrations. A lot of times what that means is like different dosing rates and different crowlers, and then tasting them side by side to see which ones express the way you want.
Okay.
So I had a few of these test batches, but like I could not even tell you how many we did. Like when we're doing something this big and this like different, we always make sure to try it enough times to where you're like absolutely sure. So you don't try a new turkey recipe on Thanksgiving. You fine tune it, you hone it. You do practice turkeys. So am I the only one who does practice turkeys?
So how long did that process take before you said, this is it?
Ooh, good question.
So this probably, this is like Marty Scott, our barrel guy, master of the craft. He was probably working on this for several months. Like this beer came out in July of this year. He was probably dialing in like at the end of last year, and that's as some of the barrels were still coming to fruition as we were still sourcing, the fruits, and then, a crowler top is a different technique than like doing an entire batch of beer, just kind of building new processes and making sure that the end result tastes as good in here as it did in those test batches that he wanted to. I mean, it could be like months and months. Like, not even, there's so many spreadsheets. Like, this is the least exciting part for people. Like, that's where the magic happens in barrel-aged beer and brewing is like spreadsheets.
People don't know how it excel, man.
We've got the sugar concentration on each. We've got dosing rates. We've got the age of the barrels, and like all these little numbers move left and right in ways that'll make your eyes bleed. But that is where the magic comes from. And I'm sorry to be so unromantic about it.
No, let me ask, is this one of the only ones that you guys have that is brewed with like different types of fruits and whatnot? Because I don't really remember,
this many. I mean, this is a veritable fruit salad, but we always usually have a fruited stout. There's always like a fruited version of D-Star every year. We do like D-Star, we do Cafe, which is the coffee with coffee from dark matter. Then there's a fruited one. It's usually like raspberries, cherries, or plums, all three of which really have that tartness. They have the sweetness, but you want a counterpoint to some, to give something new that isn't like, coffee and that isn't just like the base stout. Like you take that rich kind of fudgy chocolate you get from barrel-aged stout, and then you add something that's like raspberry, like super tart, or plums, super sweet, or cherries, which is kind of a balance of
plums, all that,
I'm a big plums fan, but I think cherries is probably our most popular.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. This is pretty good.
Yeah, I don't want to move on to this. So I don't want to move on to the next one yet because I want to keep.
For sure.
This is a flex to me. Like I hope I'll get one of these today because I'm bringing this out tomorrow at Thanksgiving because I'm hosting it this year, and this is one of those beers I'm gonna pull out like,
you know what?
Y'all need to.
I know, and you won't make my mistake. You're gonna buy the pack of umbrellas at Jewel before you go.
Let's talk a bit about some upcoming, if you can, any upcoming events that Rev is having or.
So, I mean, like one big thing, we took Anti-Hero and we put him into the major sports, right? We got football cans of Anti-Hero right now. We got hockey coming up, basketball, baseball. All the ways that it can make you sad to be a Chicago sports fan. We got Anti-Hero in them.
Yeah.
But it's not just like packaging. We're also doing these kind of fun like sports activations and screenings. We're making merch, like limited edition merch.
Okay.
And if you pull out a gold Anti-Hero can from one of your like sports mark packs, between now and baseball.
Sports pack Anti-hero.
You get a contract. You get to join the anti-heroes.
Okay.
You know, we don't pay what the Ricketses can pay, but you get some pretty cool swag, and you get stuff that you can only get as a member of the Anti-Heroes Revolution family.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we are. We're a family.
For sure, for sure. Now we're talking about these beers. One beer that I know OT
Yeah, talk about it. Yeah.
has been drinking lately
Non-beer. but
is
yeah.
the non-beer,
Super Zero.
Yeah, that's
the
super.
Super Zero.
As I work on my sobriety some days. Okay. All right.
Now I'll just put that one on the screen. But
Yeah.
how did that come about? Like, why do the non-beer for a beer company, a brewing? Revolution Brewing is making a non-beer drink. What's it called?
Hop
What's it
water,
called?
yeah. Right. It's hot water.
Yeah,
right?
hop water, sparkling hot, Super Zero sparkling hop water. And, you know, it's nice to drink something at our desks without getting written up for it that we make. So that's nice. But, you know, I mean, it's like we realize not everyone drinks all the time. Like, you want to have an offering, you want to have something for people like at all stages.
Yeah.
And, you know, you could come here and you can get non-alcoholic, or you could go to the pub and engage with Revolution and not have beer and like have a burger or something. But, you know, in terms of like Revolution out there on the shelf at like Jewel, Mariano's, Binny's, there's no Revolution that you can take home and just kind of be like, I'm not drinking today, and still kind of have a Revolution product. So we did this, and it was also something we could make high quality with like relatively few ingredients, like nothing processed, nothing artificial. It's hops, it's water, and it's citric acid that is in every canned product that is shelf stable. Hops and water, and that's kind of it.
Yeah.
We've been taking an absolute like ton home. Like our employees blasted through the test pilot batch,
Oh, yeah.
and then we had to make a second one. This is also cool that we can like send this right to your door. You cannot legally do that with beer. However, we send Super Zero anywhere in the lower 48, just right to your doorstep.
Oh yeah.
Now, excuse my ignorance, because I'm sure there are other people that may not be aware of this, but I thought hops gave beer its
Flavor.
not so much its flavor, but its alcohol content.
That's all
How
grains. Yeah.
how does that work? Where it's hop water?
Yeah, the hops like were originally a preservative, right? They keep the beer from spoiling along with alcohol content over long journeys that we don't really have to put beer through anymore. Now, like in
IPA.
present day, exactly. They
Yeah.
they really form like the flavor and aroma base of kind of every beer. Like people like say they're sick of IPA or whatever, but all IPAs are not alike. I mean, there's so much flavor and aroma variance in IPAs and in hops that like they have this, they're kind of this like micro industry onto themselves within beer, where it's like hop breeders and farmers are creating these new hops all the time. Like beer is such an ancient tradition, like, you know, sugar gets fermented and becomes alcohol is like, you know, trace that back to the first puddle in a Sumerian granary. But hops, like what in beer is new and ever evolving? It's hops. Like people are growing new things, and, you know, as like different areas go through different like climate cycles, they are thinking of things that are like flavorful and drought resistant or more, you know, more yielding. It's pretty cool. So we're at this point where the two hops in Super Zero are these two super new school hops. I wouldn't have known them 5 years ago because they were just like a dream in some breeding company's head. I mean, it's Nectaron and it's Sabro, and
I
it's
love Sabro, yeah.
Sabro is great, and that's the older of the two.
Yep.
But you get a lot of like tropical coconutty thing. Nectaron, you get this really cool peach ring deal that is delicious, and the two of those together in sparkling water, like I vastly prefer this to a lot of other non-alcoholic options when I'm trying to scratch that itch for beer.
And that's the thing there for me, for why I, you know, so I bought a 6-pack of the hop water when I was here picking up some, I just wanted some beer. I bought that, I bought the collab with Funky Town,
Oh, yeah.
and I picked up some Deepwood. And I got home, and I was like, one day when I did want to have beer, and I'm like, I tasted it, I'm like, this is like I can really taste out the hops in this. Like, it's pretty good. Like, if you like beer, you know, it's a good alternative. So
That's
yeah.
what my favorite thing someone said about it was like I brought unlabeled test cans of it to a cooking event I was doing, and it was like, you know, I don't drink while we're cooking. Like I got some highlights in the fridge for later, but like here, try this. And then like person popped it, drank it, and said, "Oh, that's good. That's water. That scratches the itch." And I'm like, "It scratches the itch. That's,
There you go.
Put it on
Yeah.
the billboard."
Absolutely.
And I think it does.
Pretty good, man. Pretty good.
Go, let's go.
Yeah, let's crack
let's
this
go up.
last one. You ready?
Go all the way up.
Yeah.
Double barrel B.E.S.O.J. 16.8. Wanted to double check for you.
As Jay gives his cosign in the corner. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Jay's
Shout
had a
out
bad
to
morning because of this one, I'm sure.
Blackbeard Baron. Right. Shout out to Blackbeard Baron right now.
This is, so Straight Jacket is our barley wine, right? V.S.O.J, very special old jacket, is our barley wine aged 2 to 3 years. This is double barrel V.S.O.J. 2 to 3 year barrels, then rehomed in a second barrel. Pick up that extra oak character, a little bit of extra octane, as you can tell from the bottom of the can, and just all these amazing oxidized sugar and American oak components that just like fly out at you. This is the biggest, baddest barley wine we have, and like we can only really release this every few years because it takes a very long time to wind up the right kind of haymaker.
That's great.
So.
All right, yeah. This is the
would
one that
you
I said I
pour-
wanted to taste. So yeah, go ahead.
With you doing this, have you ever run across like different flavors of the same flavor? Like different batches taste different at all?
Oh, definitely. I mean, like we get different kinds of barrels depending on the year. You know, like you don't reliably always have a supply of one kind of barrel, and some are like real vanilla forward. Some have kind of a cherry thing or a fig thing going for them, and then you know every year's temperature is different. Even as we keep it pretty much temperature controlled, like they're going to see little variances, and the way that the oxidation works in beer, you're going to get different flavors every time. It's kind of cool. It's just like we brew Anti-Hero or Rev Pills or Fist City to be like really consistent batch to batch. Part of the reason people come back year after year for what is like essentially the same beer in some cases, D-Star and all that, is because they can just be different. Like these are living, breathing things that like reach an endpoint when you package them that can look a lot different one year to the next. And it's kind of cool to go in and like see what's different, see what's new, see which year you like.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
It's fucking good, is what it
this
is.
is a barley wine.
It's barley
This
wine.
barley wine. And this is a pretty
like
dark.
barley
This is a pretty
wine.
dark barley wine.
I can't front you.
I like
maybe-
barley. Look, Revolution got me, first of all, introduced me to barley wine. But then when I have one at home,
Yeah.
it's like I've definitely had one watching a movie, chilling, and it's nice and warm.
Yeah.
It feels warm.
It's silky.
It's it's silky.
Yeah.
It's silky for sure. And this one, D.B.V.S.O.J,
All
double
about the acronyms, baby. Yeah, let's go.
double barrel,
Very special old jacket.
very
Not
special
EJ
old jacket.
VSOP, but yeah. there you
Well,
go.
that's where these kind of designations came from. Like there's an eye and an honor to the cognac producers.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
For sure. No, this is good.
Yeah, this is. I mean, there's no bitterness in this. This is just like the most pure expression of
For
kind
sure.
of malt.
For sure.
You know, it's as warm as one of those thick Irish sweaters, but it's not as itchy, which is nice.
Now there's still hops in this.
There are still hops in it, but they functionally don't express at all. They're in there for just kind of their antibacterial, antimicrobial properties. And by the time, I mean, any beer, the hops fall out stored at ambient temperature. Well, these have been in these barrels for 2 to 3 years. Like most of the hop aromas, the hop flavors are gone, which is fine because that's nothing like what you build like the base of a barrel-aged barley wine on. However, you get yourself an unaged barley wine, something fresh like Bigfoot, say, and that is like aggressively hopped. It can be kind of a like a shock if you're only used to these kind of butterscotchy Werther's Originals, slow pour in a movie kind of beers.
Yeah. So before we get out of here, I saw you on Chopped.
I apologize.
No, you're fine.
I saw John on Chopped. My kids love Chopped. They play Chopped, give me fake food and create a dish with it. You on there because of Crust Fund. Tell us what is Crust Fund.
Crust Fund is me selling pizzas out of my alley to just benefit the places I like in Chicago, people who do good work. Connections for abused women and their children, my block, my hood, my city. Yeah, got their sweatshirt. The Friendship Center food pantry by me is like, I live in Ravenswood, and there's still a line across the block on my food pantry. Like, there's more to do in Chicago than people kind of let on. And if I don't do this, then I got to listen to my Fox News watching aunt talk about what a crappy city we have. Ah, man. People will meet someone in a dark, they'll meet me in a dark alley and give me money to give to a great cause for pizza. Like, people are cool. Crust Fund is cool people doing that to support really good causes. And yeah, weirdly enough, I ended up on Chop. That was surreal.
So before we get to Chop, though, how long ago did you start this?
It was August 2020. It was prior on the last time I was on the show, because I remember we just talked about
2020.
Yeah,
you started
RT
Crust Fund in 2020.
August 2020.
I was like, what is John doing in the alley with pieces? What is
Right,
going on?
right.
Well, John hit his breaking point. But it could not have been very long after we discussed RTJ4.
It wasn't. He's
for
right.
sure.
Yeah.
But it was that 2020, and like I kept doing. I had no idea what I was doing. Right. First of all, you shouldn't try to run a restaurant outside of your alley, but that's okay. I stuck to that part. Like, I had no idea what I was doing in terms of prep or turnaround, or like how many people would show up, and I've been sold out every month since. And people are very cool about supporting.
And so, how'd you get the word out?
Our old friend Instagram.
There you go. Yep.
Originally, I didn't want to give strangers my address.
Yeah.
Because I have heard a true crime podcast or two, right?
Yeah.
Because like the alley's safer.
Yeah.
But like it got to be this thing where it's like people started talking about like, oh, this is the pizza alley, and like it became like unintentionally became like the whole marketing hook of it all. It's like, go meet this bearded man in an alley, and it's gonna go better than you think. Like, people will show up and like go, oh, I actually didn't think this is really in an alley, and it is in an alley, and it delights them. But it's cool. Like every night, like I serve the last pizzas, crack a beer, sit on the tailgate of my truck. R.I.P. I'm a minivan man now, so I just kind of sit in a chair and add up, just on the back of a receipt, like add up what we raised for the night and post it, and people feel good because nobody gives me the money. I just say, go donate here. You got to send me the receipt to pick up your pizza. So I just got an inbox full of receipts from people making donations. That way people know the money's going to a good place. I don't have to trust this face. Would you trust this face? No. And that's how it runs every month. We raised up. We are over $60,000 since I started. That's a lot of pizza.
Okay, and so how do we get to starting in 2020, and this is 2023, you're on Chop?
Oh, that's wild. So, so my wife, she had our third kid, like, it was, summer.
Shout out 3 kids, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Right. The theme is you're in it now.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
But, in summer 2022, and I was like, all right, take it a little easy, have some parental time. I remember what it's like when you have an infant. Like, you're not a person. You exist in a phantom zone. But it was maybe right before we went in the hospital, or right as we were in the hospital with the little newborn, that it's like I got a call, and I don't answer my phone. No one uses their phone as a phone anymore. It's all spam, but they left a message. So I listened, and it was like, oh, hey, I'm calling, with this company. We'd like to talk to you about having you on Chopped. And I looked at my sleeping wife who had just given birth again, and I was like, probably wait on this a little while. But so I just called out of the blue when I was trying to do less for a couple months with a new baby. I ended up leaving all 3 kids with my wife, flying to New York, cooking in that wild Chop kitchen. I didn't sleep at all the night before, and that whole day. Oh, this is a cool thing, York, right? Specifically for Beers and Bars. The studio where Chopped records, give you the address. It's 106th and Park Avenue. You remember the show?
Yeah, 106 in Park.
I was like, why do I was like, I've been to New York like a handful of times. Why do I know this ad? Like, I'm going there on the subway. Why do I know this address? 106 in Park.
Get out of here.
I'm telling you. It was so now it's just guys who look like this burning things on accident, but like back then, that was the only place I got my hip-hop videos when I was growing up.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. And it was this big studio in Harlem that just has a whole lot going on.
That's dope.
Anyway,
That's crazy.
but the show is crazy, right? Because you see like the chopped arena, like 4 cooking stations next to each other.
Yeah.
What you don't see is like this entire like NFL owner's box of producers and all the camera people, and all the grips and the pantry and the judges and everything. It is wild. It is like this whole food Thunderdome.
Damn.
And I remember just thinking, like, as like you open the baskets and you reach in and do whatever. I was like, I could very easily just go into the fetal position right now and cook nothing. I'm like, they probably have to sight screen this thing pretty hard, because like you can't, it's like you cook at home. Like you open yourself a beer, 17% barley wine.
Yeah, you can do
You
anything,
you put on the good music.
Yeah.
Make sure you have plenty of time. You just like cook at your own leisure.
right.
This is like you and your lizard brain against the oh shit circumstances that we're putting you in.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you have, I call it like oh shit, could you have an oh shit cooking style? And
Yes.
like, thankfully I did. Like, it was a great time. I would have liked to go a little further, but man, I was wrung out by the time we hit that final round. So
dope.
just to get there was cool. I mean, like Mike Carter, right? Like, dude from Philly, Down North Pizza, amazing chef.
Yeah.
He could have won any day. Like any one of us could have won or lost. Those things are like those margins are razor thin there.
Yeah.
Right.
But I respect any guy, A, from Philly, and B, who names all his pizzas after hip hop songs.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember because I saw the episode a few months ago. But how far did you make it? You made it past the
Made it
first
to the
round.
finals. I made it to the finals.
Yeah.
And then I really galaxy brained myself with dessert instead of just frying my pizza dough like a good Midwestern boy ought to do. But it was cool. It was good. Like, 6 inches the other direction, I don't even make it out of the first round.
Right.
It's like you gotta take and enjoy the things you have. I had not really slept the night before because I kept like having these stress nightmares of like I'm on a cocktail show and I can't find vermouth, and I'd wake up and I was like, okay, I guess I'm not sleeping much. So I've been up. I was at those studios at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
I got out after 9 o'clock at night. I was so wired from just having done something like that I had to go find a bar. Luckily, New York, like Chicago, they got bars.
Yeah. That's what's up, man.
So it was a good time. It's just like, it is existentially wild to me that some college kid is gonna go a little too hard this Thanksgiving weekend, gonna roll into consciousness the next day, turn on a soothing cable channel, and hear my Midwestern vowels just honking in his ear until he feels like getting up and getting some White Castle. Like, that's wild. You live in this streaming app or on this cable service forever.
I love it.
It's cool. It's immortality is what it is.
It really is. I think that's a good spot, man.
Yeah, man. Look, man, we've been through 3 beers,
2 to 3 ounces of 3.
and these aren't like light beers. These are all over 10%.
These are specifically
14,
heavy beers.
15 to 16. I feel pretty chill right now.
Yeah.
I'm definitely feeling it. I feel
Should
chill.
we get a cold time premium lager?
Shout out Cold Time. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Let's do
Hey,
that.
man, beers and bars.
Beers and bars.
Beers and bars.
Graham, John Carruthers. See y'all next time, man.
Peace.